For all hard rock, heavy metal bands needing worldwide exposure at affordable prices, Online Metal Promo PR is taking bands from the underground to above ground. Visit their official website at onlinemetalpromo.net. onlinemetalpromo.net.
With your hosts, Wayne Newman, Greg Narlow, and Lou Max.
All right, welcome to Rat Salad Review. Today I'm here with Maxx Havick from the band Incursion. How's it going, Max?
Hey, how are you? Thank you so much. I'm doing well.
Yeah, not too bad here. And actually, where are you guys from? Because I've never heard of you guys before.
We're from Florida, and now we're based in Nashville, Tennessee.
Oh, wow. How did you get all the way to Nashville, Tennessee from Florida?
Over the hills and through the forest, right? We formed a while back in Florida, and then as we grew up, we just traveled and moved. You sort of move, but we figured out how to all stay fairly intact in Nashville. So that's where we're calling home right now.
Oh, that's cool. So now, is it the same band that you guys started from the beginning, or did some people leave? Or
yeah, it's me and the other guitar player, Michael Lashinsky, are from the original lineup.
Okay.
And we have Dan Duchette on drums, Steve Sampson on vocals, and Robbie Creedy on bass.
Oh, very cool. All right. So you actually have a new album coming out November 11th, Blinding Force. And then you had a debut album in 2020, The Hunter.
An EP, yeah.
An EP,
The Hunter,
okay. Yeah. So tell me about how the band, tell me about the beginnings of the band. How did you guys get together?
Well, it was, it started out, we formed a long time ago, and then we basically reformed in 2000 and 2018. Oh. And we just decided that we miss playing, and we thought hey, if we could find a singer, sort of starts out, what are the odds kind of thing. And then it sort of all came to fruition. And then, we really originally just put it out for not knowing it was going to be a thing.
Right.
So it became a thing. And now we're trying to see how far this will go. Pleasant surprises all around.
Yeah, well, that's good to hear, because a lot of bands don't get that opportunity. They start up and then they usually just dissolve or whatever, and maybe they'll make an EP or a few songs and they just disappear. But I'm glad to hear that you guys are sticking to it, and now you got the new album coming out in November. Tell me about the recording process for that. Did you guys record at home, or you go into a studio, or?
Yeah, we did the drum. Mostly the drums were done in at a studio called Daylight Studios in Nashville. Okay. And then we did drums and guitars primarily there, and then we did vocals. Steve has a home studio, so we did the vocals at his place, and then we did the rest. In the combination of Steve's studio and Daylight, and then some overdub guitar parts at my house. Yeah, so we did some of it remotely, but most of it was done in the studio. Yeah.
Oh, very cool. Actually, it's a shame because I have a couple of the co-hosts with me, and one of them actually lives in Tennessee. I froze. Am I right now? Am I back? Still frozen?
No, you're not frozen
Not
anymore.
fro-
Did
all
you
right.
hear,
What up,
did you hear
man?
anything I said?
Yeah, no, I got you. I just apparently you didn't hear me.
Hey, yeah, sorry.
What I was saying anyway. It's a shame that I have a bunch of co-hosts usually that do the show with me, but actually one of the guys is in Tennessee, so it's a shame he's not on because
Oh, that is a shame. Yeah.
because he's into metal too. So obviously, because it's a rock and metal show.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he wouldn't be on.
Where in Tennessee? Where is it?
I don't know off the top of my head. I can't
Got
think. I don't know. Yeah,
Yeah.
I only know him through. Actually, I know him through another friend of mine. So and then we kind of became friends, and I added him to this show. So I'll ask him later. He comes on later. But so that's cool. I'll have to tell him you're from
Right.
Tennessee. But so how did you get into playing guitar? Like, what kind of bands are you into? Because listening to your songs for the new album, there's a huge influence of like old school heavy metal, not like the newer styles. You definitely the old school style. So, what are your influences?
I think, it starts first and foremost, Kiss, Ted Nugent. Kiss, Ted Nugent were huge, and Ted Nugent were a big influence. And then as I started delving more into it, it was Scorpions, then Priest, then Maiden, then Raven, Anvil, Merciful Fate, Venom. So it's really just an amalgamation of that, and that's the stuff that it still resonates with me more than what's happening currently. So
Right.
just so when I'm writing, that's how I naturally write. So I'm not really trying to like emulate something. It's like what I do.
Right. Yeah, that's cool. Because actually, I have a band. Actually, I have two bands. But the band that I just started 2 years ago, we wanted to stay like what you guys are doing, like with the traditional metal sound, and
Yeah.
my newer band kind of has more of the newer type sound to it. But I love the traditional metal sound, because just nowadays everything just sounds so fake and so processed and everything. So it's a breath of fresh air to hear bands like you doing what you're still doing, like keeping that traditional metal sound alive.
Well, thank you. I mean, it's like I said, it's what we do naturally, and I think it's what I gravitate towards sonically, and what I want to listen to. So it just feels like, luckily there's a space for it now, but it's really been great. It's really been.
It seems to be getting some kind of like a small resurrection in a way, a little bit, I think.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully, one of us will break out and he'll pull the rest of us with him.
Yes, I hope so. Do you guys have any shows lined up to play, or?
We're working on some stuff right now to do like for next summer, and then some stuff in the States here. So we're just trying to get it all together. There's a lot of moving parts with having a deal with a company in Greece.
Oh, really?
So there's a little bit of a time difference,
Right.
and just the coordination stuff is just a lot.
Oh yeah, I can imagine. So what music are you listening to now? Anything? Is there anything new? Because I know you're really not into more of the new stuff, but is there any new stuff that you actually do like? There's one band that actually, when I first heard, like the first song that came on your album, or no, actually I listened to the something that was on I think one of the EPs, or maybe it was the first. I don't know what it was. I can't remember off the top of my head right now, but because I listened to it this morning. But it reminded me, sounded very much like the band Visigoth, because they're very traditional metal sounding. Have you heard of them?
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, I have. Yeah, they're cool. I really like this band out of Australia called Butterfly. And I like Haunt. I think what he's doing is really cool.
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously Traveler and Hellgun, who we worked with for the Allied Forces B-side of the single.
Okay.
Really good friends with those guys. Just building a relationship with those guys has been really exciting. So it's been good.
That's what I think is a huge key too. Because I was actually talking to somebody else about this too. Is networking. So seeing that you did do that with another band and did a split EP with them, that's really cool. How did you get involved with doing that with them?
I had an idea of doing a B-side, and and then as we were recording, the thing with Ukraine happened, with Russia and Ukraine.
Right.
And so I just was like, this is our little, we've reached out to bands that were in the air. Like we reached out to a Ukrainian band, and they weren't, they were they had a bunch of stuff going on.
Right.
And there was a handful of bands that we reached out to. So we were going to try and make it be kind of like a We Are Stars kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But that didn't work out. But Jean-Pierre and Mathis were into it, and they dug what we did, like our version of it. So we ended up doing it just the three, with just the three bands, and it seemed like it worked out. It's been good. It was really good.
Yeah.
Really happy the way it turned out.
Yeah,
Great.
That's cool. Are there other bands that you've been like networking with?
We're really good friends with a band, Hitman, from the '80s.
Okay.
And Dirk has been, a godsend to us. He's been really, really great to us. So, but that's basically it. And there's a handful of others, like Conjuring Fate and Savage Blood, but those five are really the bands that we've had some meaningful connections with.
Very cool. Well, keep it up because, like I said, all those connections and the networking definitely helps in running. So.
Oh, and Emissary. What am I doing? Jim Harris is.
Jim Harris. He's been on this show before.
Yeah, Jim's been. Yeah, he's been great too. It's like I can't forget. Like, he'll kill me. It's like, why didn't you?
No, he's definitely a cool guy. Actually, I just talked to him the other day. Very cool guy.
Yeah.
He's very helpful, and I love that band too. The band's good.
Yeah, it's a really good band.
Yeah. Now, are you interested into the physical media? I mean, because you're putting out like the traditional metal. So, are you more into the physical media, or are you into the streaming stuff? Have you gotten updated on that?
Yeah, we're trying to find people where they are. Like if it were up to me, I mean, my house looks like your background.
That's real. That's not fake.
Yeah, and it's like I have vinyl. I'm a huge vinyl collector.
All right, good.
So one of the things, it was really important for us to have everything available on vinyl,
right?
And CD, and so we, the Running Out single. That's what we did the running the Allied Forces B-side for, and then the album will be out on vinyl and CD, and same with the EP was out on vinyl and CD. So I think there's a lot of people who are still interested in that, and then the streaming world is it's a necessary evil.
Right.
And it is what it, you know what I mean? And there are people who really find, they find bands they fall in love with there. So I'm happy anybody listens to us.
Right.
I'm not like one of those, I'm not one of those guys that sees like a chick wearing a Metallica shirt and going, name 3 songs. It's like, I you know what I mean? Like if you dig us, you dig us, and if you want to buy a shirt, and you're, whoever,
right?
I'm happy. I'm not so. It's not so precious that it has to be a best kept secret to me. I want, you know what I mean? I'm interested in people getting to hear us, and I guess I might have a different opinion if that becomes a drag, but right now I'm pretty psyched anytime somebody says they dig what we're doing.
Yeah, definitely. But the physical media is cool too, because then you get to see the artwork and all the stuff like that too. And you guys got some really cool artwork, so to not show that off and to just see it on this little tiny screen, it's annoying. But it's a necessary evil.
I agree, and I if it were a time when that was the only way, I would love that. But there's a lot of access that people wouldn't, that people normally wouldn't get. So, I'm happy that people are I'm happy that people still get to enjoy this stuff, and we're slowly but surely creating a world for it. So that's all you can ask for.
Yeah. And it's funny you mentioned, you're not the guy that, see somebody in a Metallica shirt and ask them what songs. But my wife the other day, she got a Misfits hoodie. And she doesn't listen to metal. She don't listen to metal. She doesn't really listen to hard rock or anything. So I'm like, why did you buy a Misfits hoodie? I said, name me 3 songs from the Misfits.
Right, that's silly. She just likes the sweater. She likes the hoodie.
I know. That was my wife. Of course, I have
Let
to
her
bust
like the hoodie. Like, what's wrong with her liking the hoodie?
Nothing.
That can be enough. That can be enough.
Yeah, but I just thought it was funny. I was like, you don't. Of course, she named a Michael Graves Misfits song. I'm like that. I'm like, get out of here.
It's like, yeah, mommy, can I go on Bill tonight?
Yeah, no, she wouldn't know that. Oh, it's too funny. But so the album's coming out November 11th, and I lost my thing here. It is called Blinding Force, and it is on what's the name? Oh, No Remorse Records. Sorry. Do you guys have a website that people can go to, or Facebook or anything?
Yes, the website is Incursion Heavy Metal, and we're at Instagram and Facebook. It's the band Incursion, and on Bandcamp we are, I think, Incursion Heavy Metal. Yeah, Incursion Metal.
Okay.
Yeah. Not
confusing at all.
All the same name. That was the problem.
Yes, I know. I ran through the same problem myself, so it's a pain that all these bands. So I totally get it.
I mean, if you like, we're very active in all of those, so we're good.
Oh, very good. So keep it up. And where can people pre-order the album? From your sites and everything? Obviously in Bandcamp.
They can either at incursionmetal.bandcamp or through the No Remorse site for people in Europe.
All right, very cool. Well, Max, I thank you very much for coming on the show. Had a lot of fun talking to you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate your time. Thank you. Spread the word.
Yeah, definitely will. And I'll let you know when this episode goes up. And I wish you guys luck in the band Incursion. And hopefully November 11th comes around, you have some big sales for your album, and people really enjoy it.
All right, man. Thank you so much.
All right. Well, have a good night, everybody. RatSalReview.com. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Take care.
Looking for some new podcasts to listen to? Well, look no further than the RatSal Review Network. RatSal Review is taking over the podcast world with plenty of shows to choose from within their network of entertaining programming, including the flagship show RatSal Review with Wayne Noon, Greg Noggle, and Lou Mavs, as well as occasional co-hosts Manny Mejias and James Lilquist. We also have the official RatSal Review spin-offs, such as Album vs. Album, Screams from the Grave, where we discuss beloved yet forgotten hard rock and metal albums of the past, and a King Diamond podcast called This Broadcast Belongs to Them. We've also got Old Man Metal's Musings, The Right Opinion with Harrison Bergeron, Beyond Bushido, a podcast dedicated to pro wrestling and MMA with James Lilquist and Eric Adams, no relation to the guy from Manowar or the mayor of New York City, The Vieira Vault with Ralph Vieira, Schmack-a-magob to you too, Ralph, the Timo Tolkki podcast featuring Stradivarius and Avalon founding member Timo Tolkki, The BS Sessions with Mark and Jerry, Just the Cheese Please, a podcast dedicated to cheesy films of the 1980s with Tara J. and Adam. The Friday Night Party with the great Harry Barnett and Evie. And the Music is Life podcast with Lou Mavs. The Rat Salad Review Network is your go-to one-stop shop for the best podcasts out there today. Go to ratsaladreview.com for more info and to find out where you can find, follow, subscribe, and comment on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, and all streaming platforms. The Rat Salad Review Network. We're taking over.